what about this?
A whole piston.
Yeah, with the rod.
Half the rod.
Short rod.
Hey, YouTube, if you want a piece of this engine, comment below. All right, here's another familiar sight. When you like to run LS engines, they typically spend more time on an engine stand than they do in the car. But if you guys have asked for a teardown video, we've kind of speculated what I think broke. So we're going to tear this thing down and see if we can figure out what broke. We have noticed that there are maybe a few dings in the oil pan.
That's a part of the bing. See, we said bing, bang, boom. See you next June. That's a bing there in the bottom of the oil pan. Those are 3 bings. Okay. Bing, bing, bing.
That's part of the bing, bang, boom.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually never heard the boom, which is what's weird. But apparently we had some bings in this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm speculating that that's pieces of a rod. No, I don't think it's a rod, actually. I think it's pieces of the piston that have hit the bottom of the oil pan pretty hard. The engine turns over freely, and it really doesn't make any noise. So that's kind of why I think the rod is fine, but this valve over here, I don't know if you can see this on the cam. Yeah, you can definitely see that. See this valve right here, it's a little shorter than this one. So that probably means that, you got a flashlight?
Yeah.
Here's a good one.
There you go.
Yeah, see, it's a little, oh, well, that one's shorter too. So we got 2 exhaust valves that have most likely come in contact with the piston. Yep, and I don't know if you can see that. That valve is definitely not straight down in there. The other side's touching, but this side isn't. Oh yeah. And looks like this one is kind of in the same shape. So what I think happened is, I really think that the timing chain broke. I think the timing chain broke after I pedaled it down at FL2K. Because after the run, we put a ratchet on the crank and spun the crank over, and the valve train wasn't moving at all. So, you know, if the bottom end's spinning, then the cam should be spinning if it's attached with the timing chain. So I think the timing chain broke, so we're going to tear it apart and see what we got.
You should play really sad music during this. I almost started singing that when he's looking in there in the valve. I hate our oil plugs.
Yeah.
That thing almost broke my finger. Because I was using one of these and I was pushing so hard because they were so hard to get.
Why do they seize up?
They're called true locks or something like that. I've looked on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's made to lock up. But I was pushing so hard on this that when it popped off, this hit my finger and I thought that I broke the tip of my finger.
So I just drained the oil and put new oil in it and take it. And in the trailer, I literally thought I was gonna snap that thing off.
I know.
And then when I tightened it back, I didn't tighten it hard.
But then it was tight again. Did you try to take it off?
No, I didn't touch it.
As soon as you turn it and feel it make contact, it's tight.
Bobby, your tires still
Here we go.
fits.
See,
So yes.
the exhaust valve over here.
Dad,
What?
Papa bought me this new motorcycle.
A new motorcycle?
Yeah.
One of them $8 motorcycles from the auto parts store?
Yes. You know, what it?
Daddy must not have bought it.
Daddy don't buy toys at auto parts. Them things are inflated.
He must have heard that it was.
Oh, Papa, Frankie are here.
The Hot Wheels are like $5 and $6. Oh, put $1 on it. Ain't bad. Put them motorcycles on.
They put the expensive things on the top so the little short kids can see them.
Oliver had to have that motorcycle. No time.
Maybe I will sell it to him.
She just put it down, he'll pick it up and take it home.
You take it home?
Oliver get that motorcycle.
I still got my
$8.
foot.
We took it down the Hot Wheel aisle last night at Walmart.
Now we're getting right here.
Yeah.
Tearing her down now. Oh, you mean with that? Yeah, that's our next race car right there.
Yeah. That's German engineering, is what it is.
Yeah.
That inline 6. Yep. No.
I think this piston's come apart, and I think this piston's been touched with the valve, because both of these valves are bent, but they're, both the valves, you can look in there and see them, they're still there. They're just,
That's a good song.
so I bet the head ain't hurt. But we got some
I
booms.
told you, that just had one little piece of metal on it.
This is Apple year.
You get you a plug kit?
Oh, where's your car?
Yeah, come here, Pablo.
What's in my bag?
Hey, Pablo, come here for a second. I can tell you.
Where'd you take all the things off, Steve?
Pablo, come here for a second.
Yeah, that's done big piston tree. That's really lime.
Oh, I'm positive.
Bunch of stuff in there that won't stick to a magnet, and
Mm-hmm.
only thing it is piston.
Yeah, I found part of the
When the
wrist pin.
piston explodes, it goes all through the motor.
Come here for a second.
But you say you're seeing dings in the
This
oil pan?
tire was supposed to go like this. And then he
That makes no
turned into
sense.
my spot right here, and then he twisted it this way.
But you would see dings down there.
Yeah, and it looks like it fits. What's that bouncing like this? What's bouncing like this?
There's oil, that valve, they're holding oil in the cylinder.
Oh, yeah.
That's why it smokes so much.
There wasn't smoke out of the exhaust. All the smoke came from this valve cover gas that was pushed out.
With Vicky. No, she went to Walmart.
That's where I just came from.
You been to Walmart too?
Have we found a problem yet?
Not yet. So far it's looking good.
So far, so good.
No, it ain't.
It's not.
So far, you're looking at more and more broke pieces of stuff.
Look at that fancy finish there.
What's on my neck?
When you spend $20,000 on a set of heads, they look like that.
Yeah.
I see that, okay.
That's what Hannah said. Hannah said it's
Show 'em on your
$20,000.
motorcycle, okay. Where's your motorcycle?
Oh, is it a time lapse?
Yeah,
I've been on video all this time.
I'll have to edit that out.
you gotta be in it longer than that, Hannah, or it'll just be a big blur.
Oh, yeah?
Depending on how long it goes for.
You got no time motorcycle. Where is it?
You won't even be able to see what that was.
I just slow it down right there.
Oh,
I can pause it, leave it there for 30 seconds.
Oh, man.
slow motion.
Is this the paper,
Oh, here it is.
none of the machine work on it?
That's me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where'd you get that?
They buy the heads and then do the machine work.
Yep.
O'Reilly's?
Late model engines.
Papa?
That's a scene for cat.
You gonna put these in a bucket or something, Chris? Or your head stud stuff? How far did you hear that he coasted and went 490 to the 8?
Yeah, I saw that.
Ain't that crazy?
Man, if it stayed together, it'd have been some kind of record-breaking run, wouldn't it?
I'm gonna tell you, I ain't never felt it take off like that.
Oh, yeah. It sure looks strong, I'll tell you that.
It had a 1.260
12560 with the back tire.
on the back tires. It registered the 60-foot mark with the back tires, so that means it would have been like a 1.1 or a 1.0.
Yeah.
60.
Won't be quick.
Well, he's gonna be number one qualifier.
Maybe for a minute or two.
For the whole weekend.
Are you able to watch the YouTube videos?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah, I see them.
Yeah,
All that, this license put on, that was really good, that license put on there.
yeah. He's getting good at it.
Well, yeah, I see
Steven
what-
said this was his favorite one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I didn't
Yeah.
really, I don't know, I didn't really
it's
care
good.
for that one.
Well, Stephen would have liked it because his car was in it so much.
Yeah,
My car run good.
main attraction.
Yeah.
I liked it because he put how many times it took Wesley to do a burnout.
Yeah. And then clapped when they finally did it.
That was hilarious.
I'm surprised.
Look at that, put the stud out with it. I don't know if it's gonna come out or not. Might have to pick it up a little bit, let me keep.
I got these walnuts hauled to the creek bank. I raked yesterday and today and hauled today.
Time to get them trees cut down there.
It's past time. I mean, it's way past time. I'll get Tim to put them things on the ground.
I see time, Jane. Got teeth on it.
It ain't there.
The chain ain't.
No, that's
You ain't seeing the chain, you're seeing the sprocket.
seeing the sprocket.
That gear didn't break.
So you broke the time of the chain.
Oh yeah, I knew that's what he
That's
brought.
what I said. I kept picturing it broke the gear.
No, that chain's a weak link.
These head studs are tight this time.
I think you had that problem fixed.
Yeah, it's just a different problem every time.
Just find the next weak link.
I put this ratchet on that head, that dart head last time, and just went, whoop, spun all the head studs loose. What? Because that head had cracked. There wasn't no tension on them studs.
I saw that, yeah.
Steve's gonna have to let me drive his car.
That's the deal.
Yeah.
Steven stuck his foot in his mouth. He never thought we was gonna get to
I
1,000
told him there is
subscribers.
one stipulation. And I thought about that today. There's one stipulation. I'm gonna make the first pass. And then he's not allowed to touch his computer, and then he gets to make another pass.
Right.
I'm not gonna sit there and make a pass, then he gets to go.
Tune it up.
Yeah.
And run faster than you do.
Yeah.
What you don't know is I can change stuff on that little handheld on the start line.
Okay, I'll be in the passenger seat until you leave. We'll do a burnout together, and then I will step out and you will leave.
Pull it up. Oh. How's this thing turning over so easy?
Turn sideways, Dad.
Piston?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey, that look fine.
Man, it just barely kissed the head. Barely touched it right there. Let me sit down. I hadn't got a valve.
Valve is it on every one of them.
Man, that's probably what's gonna be the
You have to fix it a valve. You know that anyway.
If there ain't nothing below that, that sounds good.
That's gonna be amazing. $4 pieces. With that.
This ain't good.
Piston in it.
Not too bad.
What about that
Oh
hole?
no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no, no, no.
So that piston's supposed to be straight like this one, and it's twisted like this. And it looks to me like every cylinder has hit the intake valve. Yeah, you ain't supposed to have extra pieces like this.
What is that?
That says Steve Morris Engines.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got these pistons from him.
Good advertisement for him.
Yeah, sorry, Steve. Okay, let's pull the other side. This is probably the side that's gonna look really bad.
Watch it be perfect. That
No.
was the only one.
No, I can assure you it's not gonna be perfect.
Tight that and loose this.
Okay.
Oh, right down there on the floor and tight.
Oh. I ain't never seen a LS head gasket so sealed up. Oh, it's that last stud.
Oh, I didn't help it, man.
You just leave one in there?
Yeah. Let me get fat fingers.
What'd you call me?
Fat fingers.
Get it. These 6th head studs on an LS are a pain. Oh, that's a pain too.
Tick Performance needs to invent a ratcheting wrench that fits on them.
They don't do much LS stuff.
No,
Uh-uh.
they don't care about us. Turn around and point the sign there.
Tick Performance,
GM LS headquarters.
LSX headquarters. They don't say anything about LT.
Mm-mm. I don't understand it.
Weird business model.
It's weird.
Seems to be working out though.
It is working.
All right, back to the LS stuff. How's your fat fingers working?
They're getting fatter.
Okay.
There you go. You're free.
Okay.
I told you.
What in the world? Side's good to go.
Here, look this valve.
Oh, good grief. Yeah, that valve's got a little air behind it. That one does too. Man, didn't hurt the heads at all.
Looks like you cooked the head gasket.
Cooked it? What are you talking about?
Oh, no, that's blue.
That's RTV. Wait, what are you gonna do with that?
Don't mess the cylinder wall up.
I think we're gonna try to reuse this stuff. Maybe hit it on the bottom.
Oh, you want to turn it to flip?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, you dropped something into the oil pan.
We're gonna have to take oil pan off now.
Dang.
I thought we was gonna be able to just put a new piston on it.
Yeah, just one of them pop-in pistons.
Yeah.
Here, bring it down from the top now. Try to be easy.
Keep from breaking it.
Okay, don't break it. Maybe it.
Oh, don't drop it in oil pan.
Might be able to reuse that ring.
Mm.
Pretty good ring.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that rod's broke.
Oh no. Been a beaver in there chewing it. See that?
I think they say that you'll have that on these big jobs.
Tough break. I bet it still would have run like this. You could have went to the next round.
It had a little miss, but that wouldn't hurt it.
Probably could have made it to the finals.
I mean, you just raced in Atlanta with a
Dead cylinder.
or two. What's the difference?
I think it's about the same thing.
I don't know why you let off. Not too bad.
That cylinder ain't hurt, is it?
Where's that flashlight? Oh yeah, the bottom of it.
Is it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That cylinder wall at the bottom's not looking too good. That's to be expected when you break a rod.
There's knot on it right back in there on the top.
Guys, it's pretty disappointing.
Here's the beam bank, or the beams I was
Look,
talking about.
every one of them bolt heads is gone holding that rail on. See them?
Oh, these?
Yeah, and this whole thing is arched out. Good. It's just a rail.
Oh, just a
That's a separate piece here.
Oh, it is, okay.
That's pretty thin, dude.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
You try to be a lot worse.
When I was turning it over in the pits, and it sounded pretty clean, I didn't think I was gonna find this. But there's the culprit.
Oh, they make a
Somebody.
quick link.
Yeah.
For bicycles?
What am I gonna put the chain on?
On a bicycle.
Put this on a bicycle?
Yeah. Put it back on gear and put your quick link in that.
Make this fancy thing right here.
$100 chain. Costs a lot of money. That's the first one I've seen broke like that.
You sure this stuff wasn't in there when we put it together?
I don't recall it being in there.
$5. $5 a piece. Good deal.
Hey, maybe we will do that.
You want
YouTube, if you want some pieces of a record-breaking piston, it was a record breaker maybe like a year or two ago.
one? Might even say what was it say? Steve Moore. What was it?
Steve Morris engines, yeah.
Steve Morris engines. I
Those
can give
were-
$10 for that.
Those were diamond coated piston. That's a wrist pin. That'd be $10 for that.
So you can buy that rail?
That.
Yeah.
Hey. We just tore Chris's motor. Nope. You home?
Broke that main cap.
Had it.
Okay, I'll be home. Okay, I'll leave. what's amiss? Cut that part out, put a new piece in, weld it up.
Yeah, we'll repurpose that.
I think it'd come off better if it wasn't bent.
What do you reckon, Ben?
Mm-mm. Shoot, I'm taking it off. Look, it's like nice and smooth and
That's the
everything.
reason that's moved out.
That's it hitting on the bottom of the
Something
block.
hit here.
You got both sides of the block. Okay, so I might get to
Keep the crank.
take my crank and my balancer. Look at the crank right there.
Mm.
See that? Actually,
Can you warp a crank?
oh yeah.
I think if it hit right there that hard, it might be warped too. Is that a billet crank? Just have to get somebody to check it. That $100 battery stay in it.
All right, guys, there's the engine teardown. Just looking over all the parts, trying to assess what happened. And originally I had thought that the timing chain had broke and that a piston had come up and hit a valve or two. The timing chain did break. There's a broken timing chain. But I don't think that was the first thing that broke. We've got a broken connecting rod. And it's looking like that was probably the first thing that let go. You can tell the piston and rod's a little mangled up. I think that was probably the first thing that let go, is that connecting rod, and it probably slung around and got into the cam. The cam's got a good bit of damage on it, and maybe wedged something in there and then broke the timing chain, and then that's what got the pistons into the valves. The rest of the rods look okay. I don't see any heat in any of the rods. The bearings look pretty good, actually, other than some trash that's in them now because there's a lot of metal that went through the motor. So there's some scoring in the bearings, but I believe that probably all happened right as it let go. The rest of the pistons are in decent shape. Again, I mean, I'm not going to reuse this stuff, but none of them are broke. Just have some nicks and dings from metal flying around in the engine that hit them. Looks like there are about 8 or 9 valves that are bent in the heads. Thankfully, the heads are fine. I've got them cleaned up and sitting back there. They're in good shape. I believe all they need is a set of valves put in them, and they should be ready to bolt on the next engine. But yeah, just looking over stuff, trying to figure out what happened, trying to see if we can prevent this from happening again. You know, the internet always likes to place blame on what happened or who messed up. Thankfully, I'm the engine builder and I'm the tuner, and I'm all those things. So if something goes wrong, it's my fault, and I'll gladly take responsibility for that because, again, I did it all. But I don't think it was an engine building mess up. Had great oil pressure. All the bearings still look good. Again, I mean, this bottom end has been together for over 2 years, and I've probably pushed it harder than what it was designed to be pushed. I mean, these are just regular pistons. I mean, they're coated. They're a nice piston, but they're not a full skirted piston, which is recommended when you're turning this many RPM and have this much stroke. There's a lot, because this is a 4-inch stroke engine, there's a lot of that piston that's coming out of the bottom of the cylinder. So it's not really supported very good. And that's where a full round piston would help you out a little bit. These are just regular off-the-shelf pistons. They're a diamond piston. They're coated, and I think they're from Steve Morris Engines. It's got his logo on them. But they've been a great piston. And nothing up there failed. All the tops of the pistons look fine. All the rings look good. The ring lands are fine. So I don't think it was an engine building mess up. So I'll check that off the list. I think it could have been, gosh, it's just hard to say looking back, but I've looked over the data log from that pass in Florida, and when it done the wheelie, I lifted off the throttle and got right back in it. Well, at that same time, I shifted to second, and all that power was there at the bottom of second gear. I short shifted it into second. So that was kind of like the peak torque area. At the bottom of second gear is at like 5,000 RPM, and it had nearly 30 pounds of boost in it. That's a lot of torque down there, and normally this engine never sees that. I mean, when we leave the starting line, the RPMs fly past 5,000 RPM as the clutch slips, and then on the shifts it drops down from like 8,500 to 6,500, 6,700. It's It's not. It never gets down in the 5,000 RPM range. So I think that may have been what happened to that rod. Is just got down into the peak torque area, and we were throwing a lot at it, and it just failed. It's a steel rod. Probably should have had aluminum rods in this engine, but like I said, they've been in the engine for over 2 years. And another thing that could have happened is when we were in St. Louis, we were racing, and I had a backfire, which, gosh, so much stuff has happened this year. I'm trying to remember it all. Anyways, I think a backfire could have bent this rod, and then I just finished it off in Florida. But the backfire did, it did crack the cylinder head. It did quite a bit of damage. So I had to get a new set of cylinder heads. Yeah, and it could have bent that connecting rod at that point in time. So I don't know. It's really hard to figure out what happened after the fact. But we've got a pile of broken parts here. Some bent exhaust and intake valves. Those are supposed to be straight. The cam is beat up pretty good. Again, the rods don't really look that bad. There's nothing seriously wrong with them other than that one. That one's pretty messed up. And the block's in decent shape. I think the crank is probably fine, which is good. It's a good dark crank. I'm probably just gonna leave it in the engine for right now until I figure out what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I think the crank's fine. The block is probably okay. I might have to sleeve a cylinder or two where the rod broke and kind of spun around and hit the bottom of the cylinders. But there's no real serious damage. It didn't like crack into the water jackets or anything like that. So yeah, that's where we're at. You guys wanted a teardown video, so here it is. And I'm not sure what the plan is moving forward right now. It's pretty much the end of the racing season. We do have World Cup finals coming up here in just 2 weeks, 3 weeks, which I was planning on going to, and doesn't look like this car is going to make it. We're probably still going to take the 69 and see if we can get that thing into the 7s, which would be awesome. 1969 Camaro with a manual transmission running 7s would be pretty cool. So we might try for that, but this car is not going to make it, unfortunately. But we'll regroup over the winter time and see what we need to do. Thanks, guys.